So I'm going to do my best in the short time we're together to do whatever I can to help you, give you some distinction, some ideas, to get your thoughts, get your ideas across the first time. How many people would like that? Yes? And also be able to build your business a little bit faster. How many would like to do that? Yes? Okay, good. So that's what I'm all about. Before I begin, though, how many of you noticed that Zach and I both ask a lot of questions? Okay, when you first heard him doing it, how many people were got sick of the questions? How many got sick of raising your hand? All right, good. So the reason I do that, is not to make you feel like a 4-year-old or anything like that. That's not the point. We're going to be talking a little bit about this word right here. What's the word? And one thing I know, if you get nothing else from this, so what's going to happen is I'm going to put some energy into this. Hopefully you put some energy back. Look, if I stood up here and I said, okay, for the next hour or so, I'm going to talk about sales. The most exciting thing you can think about. I got about 50 PowerPoint slides with 30 bullet points on each one. And I'm going to go, how many have ever been to a presentation like that? Okay, good. So I'm not going to do that. One thing that I've learned when it comes to selling, two people come together, and the reason I ask the questions is to ask some what? Get some what? Get some what? Because two people come together in a selling situation, person with highest energy usually wins. How many know what I'm talking about? Yes? How many of you have kids? If their energy is higher than yours, who wins? Am I right? If you don't have that experience, I'll loan you my 8-year-old and my 15-year-old. I mean, they'll wear you out. But the idea here is this, and Zach referred to it. He says, people get fired up, they get out there, they go out there to build the business, and they hit their first no, and what they lose is their what? Energy. So part of it is energy management, being able to maintain yours and others. How many people would like to know how to do that? Okay, good. So that's what we're going to do. It's the reason I ask questions. I'm going to be asking you to get involved to keep your energy going. Deal? Everybody willing to participate? Yes? All right, good. We'll see. The other thing is this, is that, like I said, in tough economic times, the reason I like them is because the people that don't know how to run businesses get wiped out. I mean, not that I want them to get wiped out. My point is the people that know what they're doing do extremely well because there's more market share for them. Does that make sense? So when Zach is saying, he says, people sit around, they talk about their health, they talk about their hip, they talk about their last doctor visit. People talk about health, and they talk about money. Yes? And of course, being in the right place at the right time with the right products, now the only variable is to make sure, as he said, you have the right you there. Yes? How many have ever seen a great opportunity? How many people saw somebody else take advantage of it and you didn't? How many got a little upset about that? Okay, good. You should. I mean, Roger said it yesterday when you were talking about, I think it was your father that said, I could have bought that property at a certain amount. Don't ever let that happen to you. So what I'm going to tell you is this. This is a window. This is a what? Window. It's a window of opportunity where some people are going to get very, very wealthy. And I'm not just talking about financial wealth. I'm talking about emotional wealth, physical wealth, spiritual wealth. How many people would like some of that for yourself? Because at that point, where I learned what it took to really build a business. I knew how to sell. I mean, number one is you got to know. The number one skill is as I said, is you got to know how to what? Because sales equals income. Sales equals what? Income. Say it like you mean it. Sales equals what? Income. Sales equals income. Any business I've ever worked with that ever had a cash flow problem, profitability issues, market exposure issues, usually somewhere, someplace in the organization, in a key place, somebody doesn't like to or doesn't know how to what? Sell. And by the way, selling is not just selling a product. I mean, it's how many of you realize getting your bookkeeper, getting your accountant, getting your attorney to be on board with you, that also takes an enrolling process, yes? You see? So sales, how many of you know people that have great ideas but make no money with them? See, in my experience is, unfortunately, I read Small Business Administration said in April of 2008 that over 82%, what percent? 82% of most businesses would fail within 4 years. Now, that was before the credit crunch. And my experience is not so much they don't have a good product, they don't know how to what? Sell it. Number two is you also have to know how to build a great what? Team. And if you're going to build a team, you got to be able to recruit, and recruit is the same as what? Sell. Here's the problem, however. If I said to you, let's do a little free word association here for a second, okay? You know what that is? In other words, if I said the word Christmas, what words would you say? What else? Toys, happy, credit cards, whatever. Okay, whatever. All right. So I'm going to give you a word. I just want you to shout out the words that immediately come to your brain when I say this word. Ready? Here it goes. Salesman. Did you hear what? Come on, you guys, say something. What came up? Yeah, because what I heard in the very beginning is pushy, sleazy, right? Some people say rich, that's good, second thought, but the problem is if you have this vision of a pushy, sleazy salesperson, you'll do everything to avoid it. And what's the easiest way to avoid that image? Yeah, don't sell. Convince yourself, I'm not a salesperson, I can't do this, I'm not into that. Everybody understand, yes? Hello? Okay, good. The third thing that I learned also is it's critical to know how to what? How to what? Teach. Not preach, teach. What's the word? Teach other people on your what? How to? Let me just say something about that right now. How many of you would like to build a great business in this business? The holy grail, the secret to in my experience in working with network marketing businesses over the last 10, 15 years is if you can learn how to what? Other people on your how to, you'll build depth beyond your wildest dreams. Everybody understand, yes? The problem is that for some of you, you're pretty good at selling, but you're not good at transferring or replicating it to somebody else. Does that make sense? So the idea is to learn how to teach. And teach, by the way, is not just show and tell. I'm going to give you some examples of teaching. How many would like to know how to do that? So you can take some of these things back to your teams and get them to do a little bit better. Yes? It's not show and tell. It's not just standing up there and saying, this is what I did, just do what I did. I mean, that's helpful. But that's, in the cone of learning, that's about 20% retention, which we'll get into a little bit later. The other thing about a business is that a business has to have solid what? Solid what? Systems. This is the difference between a self-employed business and a real business. The great thing about JD Premium is it gives you plenty of what? Marketing what? Marketing systems, okay? Selling systems. You got a flip chart system. Everybody understand, yes? Follow the what? Because the truth of it is where people fall down is they want to do it on their own. They want to do it their way. And they want to modify it a little bit to do it their way. How many know what I'm talking about? Just follow the what? How many people would be willing to do that? Turn to the person next to you and say, I will follow the system. Okay? The other thing about a business as I learned back then is it requires, and by the way, most salespeople hate this word. What's the word? What's the word? Particularly in accountability to numbers. And accountability to numbers. You've got to know your numbers. In other words, how many phone calls do you make? How of those phone calls, how many contacts do you get through to? And how many contacts does it take to get an appointment to sit down and do a one-on-one? And out of those appointments, how many are you going to close into the business? Everybody understand, yes? Hello, yes? So if you figure you got to do 100 calls, get through to 50 people. Of the 50 people, you're going to get 20 people that might be interested that say they want to meet with you. Of the 20, probably 10 might, and actually 3 or 4 of those will cancel, so you end up in front of 5 people, and you're going to convert 1. Everybody understand, yes? Hello, yes? Turn to somebody and say, that's great news. Turn to somebody and say, it's great news. Why is it great news? Why is it great news? Because you know what it takes to get rich now. Everybody understand, yes? You know what it takes to get rich now. It's not rocket science anymore. Everybody understand, yes? See, the truth about sales, you can be deaf, dumb, and blind and still make a lot of money if you are accountable to your what? Numbers. Look, how many of you in this room would like to be in better physical shape? Come on, everybody raise your hand. Okay, good. Now, how many of you realize that the first thing you got to do in order to lose weight is do what? Stop eating? No. 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 You got to get on the scale. First step. Look, I'm not kidding you. You got to get on the scale. It's the same thing. You got to know your what? Numbers. You got to be able to calibrate what you're doing. Everybody understand, yes? When we were down $750,000, my wife and I, we got back to zero, man. That was celebration. Pop the party. Everybody understand, yes? Hello? And so my point is, you got to have an accountability to numbers. When we've worked with organizations where teams have been willing to sit down and say, here's what I did this week, here are my numbers, every single one of them. Now, by the way, 10% typically drop out because they don't want to be accountable. They don't want to do it that way. But my experience is those that do typically will drive their numbers, and you'll watch a sustained growth over an extended period of time. How many people would be willing to be accountable? Yes? Okay, that's why that premium mentor, I keep mastery in my mind, premium mentor university is so important to hold you accountable. How many of you would like to build great wealth extremely quickly? Okay, good. Now, by extremely quickly, I don't mean like overnight. How long does it take, by the way, to build a business? Yeah, about 3 to 5 years. Anybody's telling you that you can do it faster than that is really not telling you the truth, or they don't have a lot of experience in my experience. Does that make sense? So, the bottom line is that in order to build your business, if you want to do this, my experience, this is the formula. Does this make sense? Hello, yes? Okay, good. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to give you about 1 minute. How long? 1 minute. What I'm going to ask you, but this is not a break. Don't go run into the toilet or anything like that. What I want you to do is I want you to discuss this. Discuss with the person sitting next to you, where are you strong and where are you weak? What are the areas that you need to work on specifically in order to build your business? Which of these areas do you think would make the biggest impact? Does that make sense? Got it? Okay, so 1 minute, discuss with the person next to you. Ready? Go. How many need more work here? Show of hands. How about here? How about here? Here. You shouldn't need that. You got that. How about this? How about here? How many work on all of it? Okay, good. It's good. Me too. I mean, it's a never-ending education. I mean, this is not rocket science material. Everybody understand? Yes? Sales equals income. What's the problem then? Who said time? Who said time? Okay, hold that thought. Just hold on to that thought for a minute, okay? It's a good one because it's a common one. But here's the problem. Everybody see it? Everybody go, oh. I'm teasing, okay? This is your brain. This is not your brain on drugs or anything like that, but this is your brain. Now, what percentage of your brain do you consciously use? Anybody know? How much? What percent? 2? 10. Okay, 2. It'll be a rough day here. Okay. All right. So if that's let's say 7 or 8% that you consciously use. If this is the conscious part of your brain, what part of the brain is this? Unconscious? Is that what you said? This is unconscious. No, it's called. Yeah, thank you. It's called the what? Subconscious. The reason we call it subconscious Is it because we have lots of memories in there we don't think about all day long? For example, how many people in this room have ever been heartbroken at least one time in your life? Oh, come on. Some of you, get your hands up. Okay, good, thank you. How many of you have ever lost money at least once in your life? Oh, good, yeah. How many of you have ever loaned money to somebody who didn't pay you back? Okay, good. Oh, now we don't think about all those things, but they show up in other parts of your life. For example, let's say that, what's your name? Ron. Let's say Ron and I are working together, we're doing some training together, we're making calls together, everything's working really well. We've maybe got some other businesses, we're in joint venturing. Everything's great with Ron and I. We've been working together for 9 months. By the way, I'm making this up, okay? What I don't know about Ron is maybe 5 years before I met him, he loaned money to a friend that didn't pay him back, and it really upset him. I don't know if that happened or not, but anyway, all I know is it's present time right now, and I go up to Ron and I say, Ron, you know, I'm a little short on cash. If you could loan me about $80,000, $90,000, I'd be happy to pay you back in a few months. Now, if he's been burnt before, what's he immediately thinking? And I want you to hear something. This is critical. Immediately, our relationship changes. How many know what I'm talking about? Immediately, all of a sudden, he doesn't trust me as much. He doesn't want to hang around with me. And here's the point you guys got to get if you're going to be leaders. It has nothing to do with me. I could be totally trustworthy. Everybody understand? Yes? But it's because because of my request, I triggered something out of his what? Subconscious, came up in the form of what I call his, what? Little voice. Everybody know the little voice I'm talking about? It's the one that just went, what little voice? I don't have a little one. That's the one I'm talking about. Mine sounds like my mother. I don't know what yours sounds like. How many of you have a little voice? How many people suspect you have more than one? Okay, good. And so my experience is what blows this whole thing out of the water, which was what Zach was alluding to, and some of you have read the book, is that what stands in the way, and I don't care if what you're looking for is money, relationships, lifestyle, is that incessant chatter between your ears called your what? Little voice. How many know what I'm talking about? It's the one that says, that walks out of here and says, we have some of the best products on the planet. We have the best comp plan on the planet. I am so excited, but what are they going to think about me? Why, you haven't made enough money in this business yet? What makes you think you know what you're talking about? Maybe you need a little more experience. Maybe you should learn a little bit more about the ingredients of every single one of the products before you talk to somebody about it. That'll help. Am I right? It's just your little voice playing games with you. Does this make sense? None of you guys, you don't need to be an expert on what's in the bottle. You're an expert on giving people their what? Dreams. That's the business that you're in. That's what this country needs. That's what the economy needs. Everybody understand, yes? How many people know the little voice I'm talking about here? See what I'm saying? And so what happens is what happens along the way here is you want to build a business, right? And what happens is you want to build a business, but your confidence level is low, blah, blah, blah. You're going to go out, you're going to get on the phone, you're going to make phone calls, right? I'm going to go talk to some people, right? You've said it to yourself. Well, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. Well, I got a couple of emails I got to answer, and I got a couple errands to run. And oh, by the way, I need to clean my closet and clean my desk, and blah, blah, blah. And you don't get around to it. Because life just happens. How many know what I'm talking about? Yes? You got to get on tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. And all the things your little voice tells you to do are all very logical, because every single one of you is a person of responsibility and commitment. Is that right? Is that right? Yes, it is. And so I said I was going to be on this conference call, and I said I was going to do that, and I said I was going to do all that, and guess what? It's your little voice playing games with you. Because what you're building now is you're building a thing called, what's it called? Resistance. Did I spell that right? Resistance, yeah, resistance. Could be a book you want to write. And after a while, your little voice starts saying, well, who's going to listen to you anyway? Who would want to read what you had to write? And every time you procrastinate, every time you what? Say the word. Every time you procrastinate, you know what you're doing? What you're doing is you're demeaning this. You're taking the value of this down. You're saying that answering that email is more important than you having your dream. What you're saying is that cleaning your closet is more important than providing a legacy to your family for the rest of their generations. Everybody understand? Yes? That's not what you mean to be doing, but that's what you're doing. Until after a while he goes, well, nobody's going to listen to me anyway. This is not for me. I'm not a salesperson. You go off and wander away. Everybody understand? Yes? Hello? Don't do that. That's why, as Zach said, you've got to be around people that are going to keep supporting you and doing what you need to do. Now, somebody remember this, because I want to make sure I get through some other stuff. There is a way, well, I'll just do it now. You okay with this? How many would like to be able to overcome resistance? How many would like to know what to do you can do on an everyday basis to help keep this from happening? Yes? All right, good. So here's what I'm going to do. It's called I don't do this hardly ever in these presentations, but I'm doing it with you guys. And the reason I'm doing it with you guys is I got a big vested, not financial, but a big emotional interest in making sure you guys win here. Okay? Now, no, look. When you look at network marketing, there are people that come in early, there are people that come in late, people coming in the middle. Yes? Very rarely. This company's barely 2 years old. Yes? I mean, you can't ask for being in the better place at a better time. Everybody understand, yes? And so my experience is that when Zach said, would you support? I'm going, I'm in. I look at the track record, I do my due diligence as I would on any investment, and I'm going, I'm in. So I'm going to give you some of this stuff right now, yes? Okay, it's called gratitude. What's it called? Gratitude. If you want more of something, look, well, what's the easiest way to get a punch in the face? Yeah, punch somebody else first, right? Yes? What's the easiest way to get a hug? Hug first. Everybody understand, yes? So what you attract what you give. So the idea here is a little exercise that one of my mentors taught me many years ago. I'm going to give it to you right now. Just 5 questions. You might want to write them down. Ready? First question, you get up in the morning, I keep a journal. What's my goal for the day? Simple goal. Just doesn't need to be a sales goal, doesn't need to be a big one. Just maybe the goal may be, I just want to learn something new today. It could be, I just want to make 5 phone calls if you want to calibrate it. Everybody understand, yes? That's it. One goal for the day. Number 2, what am I willing to give to others today? What am I willing to give to others today? What did I write this morning? I'm willing to give 200-300% energy, education, leadership, compassion, love. That's me today. That's what I put down for today. That's what I wanted to give. Everybody understand, yes? What do I want to give today? Number 3, this is a great one. List 10 things. How many things? 10 things that I'm grateful for right now. 10 things. Always the first on my list is my family. Second thing for me is my health. Third thing is whatever talents God, the Great Spirit, whatever, gave to me. And then others. It's interesting, I do this with Zachary, my 8-year-old, verbally. In the morning I go, okay, Zach, 10 things. He can never get to 10. But you know what the 8-year-old, you know what the first thing he's most grateful for? What do you think? 8-year-old. Close. Toys. Makes sense, yes? Toys. Second thing. You know what the second thing is? Hugs. Third thing, air. Fourth, water. Food. Interesting from an 8-year-old. How many people know what I'm talking about? And so you list the 10 things you're most grateful for. Now you understand what you're doing. What you're doing is you're building the value of this back up every time you do that. Does that make sense? So that what happens is your vision of you and what you're grateful for and what you're all about is in your face every single day is the way you start your day. Does that make sense? Okay. Question number 4. What are you grateful for that somebody else does for you? What are you grateful for that someone else does for you? So for me today, I'm grateful to Zach and to you guys for trusting me. Look, I've been in rooms. When I did my first presentation many years ago. You know how many people showed up for my first presentation? 2. I had a room set up for like 150 people. Only 2 people showed up, and one of them was actually in the wrong place. No kidding. I figured it would have been cheaper to pay him not to come than what I spent to do it. So when you guys show up, if there's 2 of you, if there's 200 of you, I am grateful. Everybody understand, yes? If you're an entrepreneur and somebody buys your stuff, even if you're broke, you just say, thank you. How many know what I'm talking about, yes? So it's very real. What does somebody else do for you that you're grateful for? And number 5, real simply, what am I happy about right now? What am I happy about right now? Just make a list. What am I happy about? Boom, 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 boom. You continue to do this, you'll start removing that procrastination and resistance. I guarantee you, 7 days. How many days? How many days? 7 days. If you do this diligently, you're going to see some magical things start to attract to you. How many people would like that? Turn to somebody right now and say, that would be cool. Okay, it's the law of attraction a little bit. Now, at the end of the day, there's 3 more questions. So before you go to bed, real simply, the first question is, how did I do on my goals? Or my goal? Number 2, what did I improve on today, or what did I add value on today? And number 3, what else am I happy about now that I'm going to bed? Okay, that's all it is. Got it? All right. Repeat it. Repeat 3. Okay, how did I do on my goal? How did I do on my goal? What did I improve on or add value to today? And number 3, what am I happy about right now? Same question you had before. Okay? Because all I'm doing is I'm giving you in order to be able to deal with this puppy right here, you need to have what I call LVMS. What's LVMS stand for?